Now, one of the things I used to do when I was a child was get me a little construction kit, build a square type of building with it, get all my tractors, diggers and my cranes and create a little model of a demolition site. Why did I do that? Because all around me were spinning mills, the former spinning mills, and they were all being pulled down. And I was completely fascinated with these vast buildings that were turned into demolition sites. As a young boy, it just completely captured my imagination. And look where I am today. It's like being a kid again. Hello, my name is Martin and welcome back to another video. So I'm here at Hartford Mill in Chadderton in Oldham. One of Oldham's great spinning mills, and this one was built in 1907. It's a grade 2 listed building, and I think at the minute there's a bit of a wrangle between the council and the owners of the mill, because the owners of the mill want to find some sort of investor to pour money into it, to do something with it, maybe flats, maybe housing, maybe industrial units. But the residents around there are completely sick of it, because obviously it's a magnet for vandals and kids and things like that. So it's such a shame, because it's just a shadow of what it would have been at one time, and it really is a vast sort of, you feel completely dwarfed by it. The good thing about this mill is that it's got a full length chimney at the side of it, which completely fascinates me. I love mill chimneys. After it closed as a spinning mill, it became a Little Woods catalogue distribution place. The annoying thing is that I probably came past here a lot when I was a kid, but never really paid any attention to it like you do. But as you can see, it's in quite a dilapidated state now, and we're hoping if we can have an explore around it and maybe take a sneak peek inside, but you haven't heard me say that. For the past 25 years, 26 years, it's stood completely derelict. I'll just give you a quick talk on it. That is the stair tower. I think somewhere in there is the water tank for the sprinkler system. I think it could have been there. We think that's been capped and taken down. You'll see it's got a full height chimney on it, built in 1907, and apparently it got extended as well just after the First World War. Very much in the vein of all the designs of mills around here. It was powered by boilers that powered steam machines that drove all the mill machinery in it. But look at this pièce de résistance. We've got a full-size chimney, which is rare these days because a lot of them have been dropped in height and capped. But we've stood right underneath the chimney now, amazing. Now, if any of you have ever watched any Fred Dibnah, you'll be familiar with his method of destroying or dropping mill chimneys. And what he used to do was carve out a section there in the middle, put pit props in, and then create a great big fire that would burn away the pit props. The chimney would list towards where he'd cut out the bricks and the pit props were as they got weaker, and it would fall over. But an ingenious method I saw him doing once, and I don't know if anyone's seen him doing this. What he would do, he would take an iron rod and he'd hammer it into the mortar line there. So the iron rod would go into the mortar line there. It would stick out at a right angle to the chimney, and let's say on the other side of the chimney there now we've got the fire going and we've got the pit props in. As the chimney began to list that way, I'll just need both hands to show you this. So as the chimney began to list that way, the rod was in the mortar line there. So let's say the rod's in the mortar line like that. As the chimney listed and the mortar line opened, the rod started to drop down. That's an exaggeration of what would happen. So he'd put it in, he'd measure the distance at a right angle to the chimney, to the floor, and then the chimney slowly listed, the gap opened up, the rod fell down, and as the gap between the rod and the floor got lesser because the rod was dropping down, he knew the chimney was listing over to one side, and at some point he'd know it was ready to go, and that's when he used to get his great big horn, warn everyone, and over the chimney went. Okay, so I think we've found the boiler house, and these would have been the old Lancashire boilers. And I can't remember the name of the machine, but they created steam to power one of the machines that powered the mill, and the machine developed up to 1,500 horsepower. This riveted design is more what you'd expect a boiler to look like, and there is 3 of them. Now, whether there was a 4th one down here below me, I don't know, but these are definitely the boiler. This is definitely the boiler house. So like I say, this is one of the old Lancashire boilers, and there's been a hole cut in the side there, as you can see, and that's inside, and that would have developed the steam to power the entire mill. Certainly a bit of a stench in there as well. Proper smells of black coal and burning inside here. I bet this saw some years. Look at the blackened bottom of the boiler there. I bet this saw some years of service. It's been cut with oxyacetylene torches though. Now in this boiler room that we explored at Hartford Mill, we could only see 3 boilers. But normally this sort of mill would have 4 of the old Lancashire boilers, as you can see here. They wouldn't run all 4 at once though, and one of them may be out of service for maintenance. And the chimney itself had to be a particular certain dimensions. Too wide and it didn't create enough draft for the boilers, too narrow and it couldn't expel all the smoke and fumes. And also the ideal height of these chimneys was about 200 foot. That had to be perfect as well. The boilers would get up steam to power a great big beam engine, and you can see here this is the beam engine, and it sort of turned with a big wheel, and there was ropes attached to it, and the ropes would go up onto all the floors of the mill and turn all the machinery. So I'm stood on top of the boilers, and if you look outside there, that is the chimney. So somewhere here is the flue mechanism. And what I'm looking for here, I'm looking for the flue which took the exhaust out up the chimney. That's the most interesting thing for me. So let's go down here and see what's in there, because it looks very interesting, doesn't it? Certainly no, maybe this isn't it, because you'd have thought it would be blackened, wouldn't you, with soot. But that door, right, that door's going nowhere. But it looks promising, doesn't it? Shove the camera through. Difficult to know where the actual flue was. So when they do apparently eventually pull this place down, usually they drop this main part of the mill first, and they leave the stair tower till last, because possibly up there at the top sometimes there's a great big water tank. Now believe it or not, even though this thing was built in 1907, it has a sprinkler system, because obviously it was prone to fires because it was predominantly cotton that was in there. And they had massive water tanks, and the water tank had to be a certain height to create the pressure to obviously to sprinkle out any fire. Okay, so we're inside the mill now on the ground floor. We've made it to the stair tower, and it's beautiful. Look at the round portals in the brickwork. So I think this is the toilet area. If you look in here, this would have been the toilet area. Tiles and water piping and everything. You see we're getting near the top now. All the floors are pretty much the same. We're on the 2nd floor now. We're trying to get up to the top floor just to say we've been right up to the top floor. Not going to creep about on the other floors, because like I say, they're all just vast open spaces, but We'll keep going up, see if we can get to the top, because I think there's no roof on this place and it's completely open. We might get a good view of the chimney. Okay, so I think top floor, I'm not sure. Stairs are turning to wood. So let's go up again. Just got to watch your step in here. And that's, yeah, top floor now. See how the roof's gone on the place completely. And I think this was like a canteen. But like I say, this wouldn't have been the original mill canteen. This was when it was Lewis's. This place was built in 1907. It's one of the later cotton mills to be built. It's in the style of all the sort of like a lot of the Manchester cotton mills, the red Accrington brick. I do know the name of the architect, and I shall put it up on screen, because there was a set of famous architects called Stotts and Sons in Oldham that designed a lot of the Oldham mills, but this one wasn't actually designed by that company, although they do all look the same. Another interesting little feature here, let's just take a look at this. You've got to watch the floor, because it's some kind of a... You can imagine all the mill machinery up here. Look at the vast windows, and there's the sprinkler system up there, and there's our chimney. Amazing. Apparently this is a circular chimney. A lot of the earlier ones were octagonal in design. And quite a nice little view there over towards Manchester. So this is why this place is not safe to come at all. I wouldn't recommend it, and to be honest with you, we're going to go back to the stairwell now and we're going to leave. But look at that. Lift shaft. Scary lift shaft. So I'm being very careful here now. Doesn't that make you feel sick? And it actually goes up as well, you see, but now I would have loved to have gone further up, because this stairway that's all burned out did go up to where the great big water tank was, right up in the stair tower, but unfortunately you could see all the stairs are missing, and it was just, the floor was weak, it was just too dangerous. But you see the sprinkler system here as well. There's the sprinkler system, and that would have come down from the tank up above, which is up there somewhere. So when you need a drone, get the drone man. Lewis is here. Lewis is flying his drone over at the minute. I don't know where the drone is. The drone is, can you see it up there by the stair tower? Well, that was good that. I've not had as much excitement as that in years. So, not that there's anything telling you not to go in there, and it's completely open, you can just literally walk in, which is ridiculous given how dangerous it is in there. And I would never recommend that you go in there and try that, because that floor was actually horrendous and the place was full of asbestos, which we only noticed towards the end, and that's why we just got out of there pretty quick. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bit of an explore. These things maybe soon will all be gone, or they'll be converted into industrial units or flats and things like that, and you won't be able to get access. So this type of thing will be fewer and far between. It's a shame really, because when I was a kid there was just hundreds of these things about, but they no sooner get into this state and before you know it they're pulled down. So if they do start to pull this thing down, I'll be dead interested. I might pop back occasionally and see if they start bringing gear in, and if they pull it down we'll see if we can get it videoed and see what we can do with it. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.